Dear BORTOPRA viewers, welcome to BORTOPRA TV, the #1 platform where refugee matters are discussed and raised. We discuss problems and we provide solutions because we do most talk with refugees from different countries, and they are the best to know what is they deserve. So today we have a special guest. For the first time on your screen, I would like to have a conversation about what he do, or what she's doing, what brought her here in Nairobi, and more, maybe she will tell us more about the work she's doing. My sister, are you okay? I know it's not easy to be on the spotlight. Some people are good in working behind the camera, but sometimes it's needed to be in front of to be in the media, to share with people what you're doing so that they can be more enlightened. So welcome to BORTOPRA Television.
Thank you, and good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much also for for allowing us this time. You can start by introducing yourself to our viewers so that they know whom we are going to talk to the time we will spend here.
Thank you. I am Irene Hellen, South Sudanese refugee. I live in Uganda, Kirianong Refugee Settlement, and I serve at Ayan as community engagement lead. I came to Nairobi on Tuesday to attend the Refugee Youth Summit 2024 that is being organized by Ayan.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is life of being a refugee? Let's start from there. How is the life of being a refugee? Is it easier? Is it suitable? Is it good? What, from your point of view, to the viewers who are not refugees maybe, what can you, in belief, how can you answer that question?
First, I must say that a refugee is a human being. So I am a human being. And I face a lot of challenges like any other human being, but they are unique challenges that I face as a refugee. One, I will talk about documentation and travels, which was one of the problems our participants faced while coming to Nairobi. Those that had the conventional traveling documents for refugees were asked to pay for visa, which is quite expensive for refugees because most refugee youths don't work. So it becomes expensive when you ask a refugee to pay $43 to enter in a country. Yet these refugees are residents of East Africa.
Yes.
So when you're moving within East Africa, these 6 countries,
the visa is free.
Is visa free. But when you have a conventional traveling documents for refugees, you have to pay a visa. So you can't enter in any country at any time you want. So that really limits refugees from movement. So for me, this is unique challenges that refugees face. But also, there are other more challenges that refugees in the settlement face. So I would summarize it
the life of being a refugee.
And say that to be a refugee is not an easy thing. It's really hard because we go through a lot of things.
So nobody can wish to be a refugee. It's just a circumstance you find yourself in.
It's not a choice to be a refugee, but also you don't know when you'll become a refugee. So my advice is that treat refugees as human beings. Because today I am a refugee and tomorrow another person will be a refugee. For example, who think that Sudan would be in war? Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are in conflicts, right?
Yes.
They are now refugees. So you don't know when you will become a refugee. So, and you have to be prepared.
Yeah. Show respect to other person as a human being, and also maybe believing that anytime also you can find yourself into the same situation. So
Yes.
would you like to be treated the same way you treat
Exactly.
a refugee?
Exactly, because the word a refugee is only a status.
It's a status.
It doesn't remove anything from
To
you.
the humanity value.
You remain a human being. Your values remain the same. Your rights remain the same. Your skills remain the same. If you were there for the summit yesterday, you'd have clearly seen that refugees have a lot of talent. They have crossed borders with their talent. We have artists. Okay, we have those that's good poem. We have those that are very good in drawing. We have those who are teachers. They are teaching in different schools. Doctors,
in different
good
professions.
photographers, and you as well. You're doing great in Kenya.
Yeah.
You see, so the word refugee, it's a status. It doesn't remove anything from you. So you need to be treated as a human being, not as a refugee, because that is just a word.
Yeah.
But you remain a refugee. You remain a human being, but with that status
Yeah.
that makes you, because when you cross border, when you're being forced to cross border to another country to look for refuge, you become a refugee.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you're not important, you're not a human being, or you have things that you can't do. No, so we are entitled to life entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do tell people that refugees are status. To people who use WhatsApp, they will understand it most. A status changes after 24 hours, I think.
Yes.
When you post something on your status.
Yes, and that's why I say
Yeah.
this refugee thing, it's a status, because
It
today
change, yeah.
today I'm a refugee. Tomorrow, if peace comes,
Maybe go back in your country.
In 2007,
Yes.
we receive Kenyan refugees in Uganda in our settlement. So when peace returns in Kenya, they also came back.
Yeah.
They are no longer refugees. You see that? And as South Sudanese, there are some South Sudanese that repatriated back when we gain our independence. They are no longer
Refugees. Others, maybe they go to resettlement as the third option. Others get integrated.
It's a status.
It's a status that can disappear at any time.
Anytime.
So
Anytime.
respect, mutual respect has to be there.
Yes.
Not victimize refugees.
Exactly.
Those people who have this refugee status, don't victimize them because of that short moment or situation they are in. Anytime can change. And also, they contribute. The other side, maybe people don't think about, is that refugees, I do tell people, they are not burden. They are blessed. They are blessings to the country, because they contribute also to, like Kenya hosts around 800,000 of refugees. And all they live in
And
Kenya.
Uganda has about 1
million.
point
Something.
over 8. You know, so that's a huge number.
Yeah.
And refugees comes with a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
Okay? There are job opportunities, because when refugees comes in, a lot of organizations come. And 70% of employment opportunities goes to the
host.
The hosts. You see that?
Yeah. The lanes where you stay,
and
not in
there's
your own houses.
Culture.
Yeah, culture exchange.
Yes, and there's intermarriages. And a lot of refugees are into businesses, and they also provide job to the local
host.
people. They also pay taxes. AYAN is a refugee-led organization. We pay taxes to the government of Uganda. That's the benefit.
So refugee should not be viewed as a burden, as what these people who have come. They should be viewed as resources.
We contribute. Yes. So we contribute to the economy of the country that hosts refugees. So
yeah, we started from there. I don't know why this point started, but I would like that's what I'm very fighting for. People to change their mentality and view refugees in a positive way. And also for refugees, because sometimes you might have been called these names, being put in a certain comfort, and you at the end of it you surrender. You say, okay, what can I do? You accept. So I also would like to challenge refugees to carry this kind of mentality, to believe in themselves. Don't give a room to anybody who wants to discriminate you, to demean your self-esteem. Don't allow it. So believe in yourself. Be confident that you can make. That's the message I always.
And for me, I would say that for us to be treated equally, if there's an opportunity, don't introduce yourself as a refugee. Just mention your name and
your nationality.
And remain there. Don't put the word refugee, because when you put the word refugee,
that's where the trouble starts.
People start thinking of negative things. You see?
Yeah.
So, but when you ask whether you're a refugee or not, then you answer, I am a refugee. But when you're not asked, just live normally.
A refugee, it's not something people put on your...
No, you can't put on your forehead. Yeah.
So let's go a bit progressive. Well, when AYAN, first of all, what AYAN stand for? What in full words? Then when did it started?
Yes. Thank you for that question. AYAN in full is African Youth Action Network. AYAN started in 2015 as the result of conflict that happened in South Sudan. So the people that started AYAN, their aim was only to mobilize youth in Kenya, in every country where South Sudanese are. They wanted to mobilize youth and maybe speak about the bad thing that government of South Sudan were doing to the citizen. Because the conflict that happened in South Sudan, at some point, it started from the government side, and few days or few months, they started attaching it to tribes, telling people, this tribe is not good, this tribe is not good. And as youths, we never wanted to be divided. We wanted to stay as youths. So AYAN started with interest to mobilize youths to speak about bad things that the government of South Sudan were doing. So when the founders went to register AYAN, they told them, no, if you want to start a movement that is so political, so you can't register it. So they said, okay, if we cannot register it, now we can register it as a civil society.
Okay, civil society.
You see, where youths can come together, because our slogan is bringing youth together. Yeah. So the founders decided to register it as a civil society organization, with the aim of bringing youth together, be trained in peace building, so that they go out as peace ambassadors, advocacy. So our main reason at the beginning were advocacy and peace building, which still stands which still stands. So that's how Ayan started. So in 2016, June, Ayan was registered to be a civil society. Then in 2018, we trained our first peace ambassadors in Uganda.
Were that time still focusing on the South Sudanese young people, or
Yes, yes, because we realize the government, they're using the policy of divide and rule. So they wanted to divide us. And when you see South Sudanese, majority are the young people. So we want our young people to
remain united.
The same. Yeah. So at some point we realize every community has issues. And in Africa as a whole, majority are young people. So we decided to say, okay, why should we serve only South Sudanese? Now, since Ayan is a refugee-led organization, because it has been formed by refugee youths from South Sudan, so they decided now that we serve the entire refugee community and the host community. So in 2018, we trained our first peace ambassadors. So next year, in June 20th, 20th of June, Ayan will be 10 years old.
Yeah, that's good. 10 years of making an impact.
Yes. So after training our peace ambassadors, we had entrepreneurship project because youths were raising complaint that we are now in diaspora, we don't have jobs, and we want skills. We want to adventure in entrepreneurship. So we started looking for funding to support refugee businesses. So in 2022, we supported 24 refugee businesses that are now employing over 100 refugee youths. Some of these businesses are based in Kampala, some are based in Kiriandongo refugee settlement. We supported a refugee youth who used to make muchomo, roast meat on the roadside. Now he has two restaurants.
It's called muchoma.
Nyama choma. So now he has 2 branches of restaurants. He's employing people. Those are things we want to see. We want youths to be self-driven, to be self-reliant, to depend on themselves and support each other. Because if youths are not supported, if they have nothing to do, they can be used as tool to violence. Any politicians can come, put some little money and say, I want you to go and speak about this person.
So you will get jobs,
Yes.
They show you some.
Yes, they will be fulfilling the interests of politicians instead of focusing on what can actually support themselves and their family. So that is basically how Ayan started. So now we have projects. We have projects. We have what we call Refugee Pathpreneur Project that aims at improving refugee livelihood and skillings within the settlements. Now we are building refugee innovation centers. We have one in Chakatu refugee settlement, one in Kiriandongo, which we are going to launch this very month. Yes, then one will be built in Rhino Camp. So that is Ayan.
The work of Ayan.
Yes, that is what we do, and we want to make sure that in anything we do, we put the youth first, because we believe youth are the generation of today, not of tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Today. Because when we say tomorrow, then the politicians and leaders will start saying no. Then if it is tomorrow, let's wait for tomorrow. So we say the youth are the generation of today.
They used to say youth are the future leaders.
No,
the future
are the leaders. now. Yes, we are the leaders of today. So the tomorrow, the future starts now.
Yeah.
That's what we believe in Ayan. And when you see our employees, all of us are young people. You know, we are being led by a very young, nice gentleman who is very passionate about working with the youth and making sure that youth are not seen as people who can only contribute when there's violence, but youth are people that can contribute positively
to the development of their own family.
Yes, to the economy
country.
of the country. They can be in leadership position. They can do a lot. For example, if you see, I don't know if you've met the Ruasi 3 of Chaka 2 who came for the summit. I think he's the youngest Ruasi 3 in Uganda. Very young, junior. Very young youth. And he's a leader. And he's doing very great. He's advocating for clean water in Chaka. You see, so as youths, we have capacity to do everything. And Ayan is formed to empower youth, to strengthen our capacity, to make sure that we do the right thing. Even when you're in diaspora, there are a lot that you can do. Yes, and that's why we support them through seed capitals. Those that have businesses, we give some little resources to scale
Boost
up their
businesses.
Yes. We train them in computer skillings. And those that have a lot of followers on social media, because we've realized youths are more on social media. So now we have a new project called the Refugee Job Tech.
Job Tech.
Yes. So Refugee Job Techs focus on those refugees that are on social media, how they can use their page to earn money. You see? So we connect them to different companies like Uber, Safe Border, Wowzy platform, so that they're able to do jobs online, where at least somebody is able to earn around $5 a day, which for a refugee, that is money. You see?
So you are creating employability space for young refugees.
Yes.
But also in your work, do you have also local who are part of all those programs? Not necessarily part of beneficiaries, but also part of people who are contributing to the team to offer those services you are giving to the young people.
Yes.
So also, for now we have seen you expanding your territories. You came outside the Uganda territory, then you came to Kenya. I want us to give us about this event and then why you thought to include people from other countries in such kind of forums, and also tell us if you have a plan to do this more, or this was just trying to see.
As Ayan, we believe in youths, and we believe in bringing youths together. So this summit was focusing on youths who are into arts, culture, and music. Why? Because in peace building, people speak through music. People speak through drawing.
Poetry.
Yes, poems. So we've realized that refugee youths have got a lot of talent, but they have no space to interact and showcase what they've got. And that's why we've decided to organize a refugee youth summit to bring all the talented youths together, showcase what they have and how they can actually work together among themselves, how they can network. I think this is the first summit for refugees that does not have people who are not refugees.
Wow.
The people who attended yesterday were purely refugees.
And
We didn't have people from government side or
NGOs,
donors. NGOs. No, we wanted refugees to have a space
for themselves.
where they can interact freely, network, and see the opportunities they have as refugees. Because when you bring donors, they start looking at what refugees are doing and how they can benefit from there. You see? But now it is refugees interacting among themselves and see. And I'm very sure that a lot of good things will come out of this summit.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be
The only one.
our last summit. We are going to try our best, lobby for some funding so that next year we have another summit.
And this one was hosting people, refugees from different countries. Can you
Yes.
remember?
So this one we hosted around 80 refugees. We had refugees from Congo, refugees from Uganda, refugees from South Sudan, refugees from Rwanda, refugees from Burundi, refugees from
Ghana,
Togo, Ghana. Yes, almost in East Africa. Somali, yes. Sudan, yes. Just that is to mention few.
Yeah, few.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And maybe
but we
in
had
the
refugees
future,
from diverse background and nationality.
Yeah. So I think the forum such as what we had yesterday is needed for many times.
Yes.
Maybe also to, as I gave my request, it has to be for quite some days because people meeting. I understand there are challenges here and there, but as planners, you have to think how it can be. Yes, refugees need a space among themselves, but also they need a space to meet with those big fishes
Yes.
who program and design project on their behalf. They need to meet.
Yes.
And we interact, we share, so that they can understand the concept and what refugees need from them. I think it will be a good initiative.
Yes. But you see, when we talk about meaningful
Participation
and engagement of refugees, INGOs think just coming to sit, listen to refugees, that's a meaningful
participation.
Engagement. No. As a refugee, you should ask yourself, were you heard?
Yeah.
Because sitting, interacting, anybody can do that, but were you heard?
What you spoke, was it took into consideration and
has it created impact? These are questions you should ask yourself.
So we should
it's
measure
not only about attending forums with INGO, but do they take what you say into consideration? Do they come back and give you feedback that from what you mentioned last time?
We did it ABCD.
Yes, we did ABCD, yes, and this is the result. And for us as refugee youths, we should be very intentional about accountability. You see, now everybody is talking about localization agenda, but we need accountability. How many INGO are meaningfully
implementing
partnering with refugee-led organizations? Yeah.
So I think, but this time, the move, I can say the move is a bit better because you see now refugees have woken up to stand on their on behalf of their right.
Yes.
And also
now,
on behalf of
as refugees, we know what we want.
Yeah. So different to some years back when everything was being done, you are just go here, do this. You don't participate in any way.
Exactly.
So now I can say things are changing, and I believe in the future it will become more or better. As we come maybe to a conclusion of our conversation, mostly we wanted to know about you and Irene, what you are doing and whatever. How is the meaningful participation of refugees maybe in Uganda? Are you participating like the meaningful, as you said?
So
how is the late? How can you late the process?
In Uganda, I would say there are positive changes.
Yeah.
Because there are organizations, there are INGOs that now limits implementation, direct implementation, sub-grant local organization to do activation of market for clean energy for refugees, because INGOs don't know the language of refugees. They don't understand the culture. So in Uganda, meaningful participation, it is at another level now. Unless there are changes. Like CARE, they now implement through local organization. Masico, those to mention few. Even UNHCR now give grants to refugee-led organization to implement activities, freely. So for me, that is meaningful engagement of refugees.
So
because
it's on
as
another
a refugee,
level.
yes, as a refugee, I understand my culture. I understand
Your
my
people,
needs.
the problems of your people.
Yes, because when you look at the project of refugee-led organizations, they are very unique, very different from projects being implemented by INGOs. Why? Because for us, we derive our projects from the problems we see every day.
You
in
live
the community.
within.
Yes. So we get projects from those problems that we face every day, while INGOs sit in luxurious places,
Maybe
take tea, discuss on what they should do.
Maybe there's someone who told me they conducted a project based on a research done by another. I was asking,
Yes.
a research, you don't know when it was done, and after the times between what have changed, then you rely on a research, then you create you design a program and come implement.
But I really want to appreciate INGOs that are meaningfully partnering
Engaging
with
refugees.
refugee-led organizations, that are meaningfully supporting refugee-led organizations and refugee leaders to go and participate in forums like Global Refugee Forums, COP28, COPs is happening every year. So I really want to appreciate and say, please, continue with the good thing you're doing. Continue supporting
and
refugee-led
impact other
organizations.
INGOs, because they are your colleagues. Like you have like the same power. And impact them also to copy what you are doing also. So that
Yes, that is very correct. Because the INGOs that now advocate on behalf of refugee-led organization, like Hilton Foundation. They now speak to other INGOs to directly fund
here in Kenya we have
refugee-led organization.
Here in Kenya we have
that's a unique
we have
thing.
Refugee Point as
Refugee
an
Point.
example among many others. So it's good. It's good. I want to let refugee-led organization also take a lead.
Yes.
Because we come from the ground where problems and the issues are helping. Even some of our are being affected with those. So we know that if we don't give them a read and or engage them in whatever you're doing, so they can give you the right way how you can do things, I don't think the impact will be sustainable.
Exactly.
So as also I would like to ask you maybe the two final questions. I don't want to be like a preacher. They say as we wind out, but they continue. But the two main last questions. What a message would you like to give to the refugee readers who have maybe saw what was going on, those lack of engagement and whatever the challenges? Because I believe the refugee-led organizations and readers, they grew up from the challenges and bad situation they grew up in. They wanted to see things being done in a different way. So what a message can you give to those refugee-led organizations and also the readers, maybe not necessarily from the organization, from the communities? What message can you give? And also, as we wind up, what do you see as the major challenges? Like 3 of them, the challenges that refugee-led organizations are facing. And also, what would you suggest?
Thank you. So the first question is
A message to
a
refugee-led
message
organization
to,
and youth leaders.
Yes, and leaders. Thank you. So my message to refugee-led organization is that let's remain focused and let's work closely with INGOs, because there are those INGOs that are very passionate about working with refugee-led organizations. So we should not work in isolation, and let's embrace diversity. And we should be youths who are accountable. If you're given resources, account for them. Don't misuse the fund, because if you're given $1,000 to implement a project for a month, and you give a good accountability, you'll be given another money. If that donor does not have money, we'll refer you to a... So let's be refugee-led organizations that are very accountable.
Build a reputation.
Yes. We shouldn't corrupt our own people. We should be very intentional about accountability.
Yes. So then the challenge...
For the leaders who are advocating on our behalf.
Yes.
Please, thank you so much.
For the work you are doing.
For the work you're doing. Continue and remain focused. And work closely with those that give us services, so that you give them the right information, so that they know what kind of services or what needs refugees want. Yeah.
Do you see in the refugee ecosystem, the organization ecosystem, do you see any three major challenges they face?
Yes. One, most refugee-led organizations are not registered.
The registration is a challenge to them.
Yes. So please, you cannot get funding if you're not registered. That's a challenge. So, and there's bureaucracy. A lot of refugee-led organizations want to register, but there's bureaucracy. So I want to say that let's first register, then we start looking for funding. Then another, I think that's a message. So I would say one of the challenge is bureaucracy in registration. Another thing is lack of enough funding. Sincerely, the funding that refugee-led organizations receive cannot create good impact. Yet refugee-led organizations need little resource to do big thing. You see?
Yeah.
So, but the funding are not sufficient. The funding are very little and for short period of time. That's another challenge that I see. Then the last challenge that I see is the documentations and mobility. In Uganda, I must appreciate government of Uganda, because to get refugee passport in Uganda is very easy. And refugees are allowed to move within Uganda freely. But other countries, they don't want to give
that opportunity, that light. It's light to movement. It's a light for a human being.
They don't want refugees to have traveling documents. You must explain yourselves. Sometimes even somebody lie to get that. And countries that want refugees to pay for visa. Yet other people from the eastern, they are not asking visas. Yes. So countries, that's another thing. Because when we talk about documentations, documentation without mobility, it's
nothing.
It's nothing. Because if you give me a passport and you limit me from moving, from traveling, then are you really, are you really supporting me? So that's a challenge. Even this summit, there are refugees who didn't come because they didn't have the conventional traveling documents, which should be a right for every refugee to get.
So government that hosts refugees should ease this process.
Should ease the process of getting a traveling documents, or should even be mandatory for every refugee to have like a attestation form that every family has.
Because there are different reasons why someone might
Yes.
cause someone to travel outside the country.
Yes, yes. And if I'm a South Sudanese, I use South Sudan passport. I don't get visa when entering Kenya. And when I use refugee passport, I have to pay for visa. Does having
Yet you are still
refugee
a South-
passport make me a foreigner in East Africa? Does it?
No. Yeah, that's how it sounds.
It sounds like when you have a conventional traveling documents, you become a foreigner.
It's a problem.
It
Government, please, we are begging to you. To
We are
make it easy.
requesting. We are requesting that this should be changed,
Yeah.
because it's really limiting refugees from meaningfully participating in forums where their voice can be heard. You know, yeah.
So, my sister, I would like to appreciate your contribution into
Thank
this
you.
conversation, and I believe our audience as BORTOPRA Television will just interact with us through the comment section. Go there. You have enjoyed the conversation. There are a lot to talk about, but because of time, we cannot talk all.
Thank you.
Because I hope we meet again on different topics. There are a lot. So I would like my viewers, if you have enjoyed, and I really am sure for that, I'm not like guessing. I am sure you have enjoyed about the conversation. Go in the comment section, share your comment about this talk, and also I would like to appreciate my sister for your time, because this platform was established for the refugees. It's a space where refugees from different parts of the world, not only in Africa. It's only because they can access people who are here in Africa, but it's for everywhere. We are building a platform where they can sit, they can discuss. And what I like most is a debate in a way of a debate. I'm not very good in interviewing. I like debate, because a debate helps people to think outside the box.
Yeah.
I hope where we'll be having the people from different countries sitting at one seat, we debate.
Yes.
This is how you give your point of view, we come up with a solution. That's my end goal. So maybe if we have N word you think you can go without speaking, the time is yours as we wind up the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me. It has been my pleasure being here, interacting with my fellow refugee. And that's why I was very confident, because I'm interacting with my fellow refugee. So the questions you've been asking are something that you feel concern of, and also something I feel concern of. So thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah.
I hope so when the video gets
and
out.
And thank you, our audience. Yes, our viewers.
For watching this episode.
Yes, it's my first time, so where thing has not gone right, so please forgive me. Thank you.
Everything has a starting point. So maybe this is the starting point. You'll be on big screens and whatever. So everything starts small. Thank you so much, guys. Let's meet in the next episode.